Hi, I am Chef Danielle, and welcome to an episode of Talking with Your Mouth Full. I'm here with
LaToneya and Burwell.
Well, this is my first time meeting you.
Yes.
This is my first time meeting her.
We're Facebook friends.
Yes, we're Facebook friends. We have been Facebook friends for a while. And since I started my show, I've been coming across like interesting people that I want to interview, and I want people to hear their story and what they do. What I found so fascinating with you is that you're a power lifter,
Yes.
right? So when I see people go into different arenas that I know are challenging, I want to hear your story. I want to hear the story. I gotta hear the story, and you gotta tell it to me, because it's like, we know that powerlifting, weightlifting, bodybuilding, all that is male dominated.
Yes.
Right. And you're married.
Yes.
Children. And what made you get into powerlifting?
Well, I'm glad today's a rest day because I can speak of it with joy. Powerlifting saved my life. In a nutshell, I learned the weights when my mother was transitioning. My mother was diagnosed with COPD in 2001, and she fought long and hard. And I learned how to channel my grief into the strength of lifting. You know, it became more of, how do I use these weights to help me through one of the most challenging situations any human being will ever endure, losing their mother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the beauty of it is that her strength came through me. You know, this is the one thing I can do to show the world just how strong this woman was, by manifesting her power in lifting.
Oh.
For those of you who never will have the opportunity to have met my mother, just seeing what I do in the gym, in competitions, you know her through me. So that's how lifting helps me, and that's just how I keep going.
And that's how you got into lifting.
Yes.
So what? Okay, so lifting. How did you came across it?
So my husband. So the interesting thing is, he went into bodybuilding.
Oh, nice.
And when I watched him, I said, I don't want to do that. Like, they don't eat enough for me. I like to eat like every 2 hours, so I see food, so I'm happy. But we started, going to the gym very casually. And what I found was, he started teaching me a little bit more about weights and what I could do to change my body, because that was the beauty of it. Through this exercise, you can change your body. You can fight genetics. You can change dynamics of your health that you thought were challenging.
Wow.
So we started that together, and then we transitioned over into strongman. Are you familiar with strongman? Yeah, so we transitioned into that. So now it's more like powerlifting and strongman.
Nice. Cause I see you, and let me tell you something. I see your videos that you post, and I just be like, this, oh, like, girl, you are hurt, but you just get through it, and I be like, look at her, and it's just like, so I'm super proud of you, like,
Thank you.
to navigate in an industry like that where it's male dominated.
Yes.
And
it's changing though.
I'm sure.
It's a field that was white male dominated. But you'll see now, in the past 3 years, more women are starting to compete. My very first competition, I was the only black female competing. And now, 2.5 years later, we have rosters of maybe 20 to 25 women. So we're out there. You just gotta, search for us. But it's changing. And the beauty of it, and I say it all the time, that the sacred feminism is rising. Women are getting back in touch with their true strength, their true power. And how you manifest that is in lifting. Because that's the only way you can prove to yourself just how primarily strong you are.
Yeah.
So it's hard in that you have to build a support system. And I have a phenomenal support system in the lifting community. But for more women to join, I just say, come on. Come on. It's a safe space, and you'll be surprised of just how powerful you are. Just stepping in that gym.
How long have you been doing this?
So powerlifting, I'm going on 2 years now.
Nice.
And strong woman 1 year.
Okay, so what was your first competition like? What made you? Okay, so you going into the gym?
I wish I was that cute when I walked into the gym.
You get into it. Okay, so then all of a sudden your husband's bodybuilding, and then you started. You like, I don't want to do that, but I could do lifting. I could do the lifting part. So, how long were you into the lifting before you decided that I'm going to compete?
Well, the irony is, I didn't start off like that. I had a coach, and my coach was focusing on. We were focusing on weight loss. We were focusing on how do we actually build strength and that kind of stuff. And then after maybe 6 or 8 months of training with my coach, he taught me how to deadlift. So the deadlift is a movement where you pull the bar from the floor and you stand up straight. And the weight was relatively light, but I loved it. There was something so powerful about lifting this weight. It was just like I needed this. And each week we added on weight. And each week I was telling my mom, this is what I'm doing. And each week she just got so excited, and in her excitement, she would break through whatever health challenges she was having.
Nice.
So it became more of, if I keep lifting heavier, she's going to get better. But how did I get to competing? I was scrolling through Instagram. You know how we mindlessly scroll through it. And I saw this deadlift only competition, and I said, maybe I should try it. I asked my mom, and she said, go for it. And I trained for it. Unfortunately, my mom passed 2 weeks before the competition, but I still did it. I said, I have to do this for her. And once I did that competition, that was it. I caught the bug.
Wow. So how does your son feel about like you being a lifter? Like, I know he's 5.
Yes, my daughter's 14, my son is 5, and they are so unimpressed by me.
Really?
Yes.
No, you'd be surprised.
No, they are so tired of the competitions that now it's like, blah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh God. But I bet if you won like a whole big one of those trophies that stood up to him,
right? I think my trophies are too small for the competitions I have won. He's like, he can pick them up. So it's like, But
wow.
I think they're so used to seeing me in the gym that it's no longer impressive. You know, I get more compliments from people who don't lift than from my children.
Do you go to a specialized gym?
So I go to 2 gyms. One of them is for powerlifting and one is for strong women. So it's highly specialized because the environment is very different. A lifter's environment is very different. It's like sacred. There's all these rules, unspoken, spoken rules. But it's a community. Okay. It's a family. Okay. You know, everybody's rooting for you to hit a personal record. We call them PRs. So, you know, the whole gym gets silent when a lifter's going for their PR. And then, like, if you're grinding and if you're having any problems, you're talking 20 and 30 people stop what they're doing and just screaming for you to get it. Nice. So it's a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's so nice. So what about, so explain to people what strongman and a powerlifter, the difference between the two.
Okay, so powerlifting, competitive powerlifting are the 3 basic lifts, which are squat, bench, and deadlift. And in a competition, you have 9 attempts to, complete these lifts successfully. And your goal is to always get a personal record or to improve on your total, your overall total of the 3 lifts. Strong woman, strong men competitions will be 5 implements. So you'll see there'll be an overhead. So you might press a log. You might press a keg or a sandbag. There'll also be movement ones where you'll run with a sandbag or with a keg. There may be a deadlift, but you'll be deadlifting possibly a car.
I've seen that one. I was saying, my uterus was hurting for you, girl, but I was like, girl, I hope you answer, girl, stop, no. I was like, LaToneya, don't. But I watched, I was like.
And then meanwhile, you hear, babe, one more. And it's like, no, there is no more.
I'm like, who is that? Sir, don't say that, sir. Like, leave her alone. I'm saying no.
So So there'll be a deadlift and possibly a car. More reasonable competitions, you'll deadlift, an axle. So the axle that are like on truck tires, things like that. You'll also have like a truck pull or some other movement where you're pulling something. So it's always 5 implements. And it's basically a game of strategy, strength, and speed. So it's a little more complex.
How old are you?
I'm 38. And
how many years more years do you think you're gonna do this?
So, for powerlifters, there are powerlifters competing in their 80s. I've shared a platform with wonderful women in their 80s and lifting almost 300 pounds. Met a team of women actually over the summer, and she's a record holder at this point. Yes, 300 pound deadlift at 82 years old. And strongman. I need to get my life together.
Let's
go. I told you down the block.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, what?
Strongman competitors, there are some that are well into their 50s, but in order to do that sport, there's a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of maintenance behind what I do. Like on my rest day today, chiropractor, massage therapy, acupuncture, and things like that. And these are not luxuries. These are mandatory things that you have to do to keep your body healthy.
Oh, nice. Okay. So is it different for, do women have to train differently than the men?
Absolutely not. You have to train the same way a man trains. The joke in our house right now, we have a competition coming up, both of us. And I said, wait a minute, I'm only like 20 or 30 pounds shy of what you're lifting. Because literally the women are lifting what the men are lifting. The same implements. They don't feminize any part of the sport. You're doing exactly what a man is doing.
Yeah, because I'm thinking...
With accessories.
Yeah.
He can get a log up here with no problem. I'm like, all right, we got situation.
Right. But, because my this is me. I'm thinking like internally with your uterus and stuff. What's good? Like,
well, I got my boy and girl. We good. No, I'm joking.
No.
That's the biggest misconception about lifting. When it's taught properly and you're engaging the right muscles, internal damage doesn't happen. Maybe your soul is broken a little bit. But, for example, with the car deadlift, a lot of people were concerned that I was going to injure my back or my knees and things like that. And I said, the proper movement uses the right muscles to engage. So, for example, with a car deadlift, my back isn't involved. It's all legs. So things like that. Just with these sports, you can't take proper coaching and training for granted. You have to have a proper coach to get you through this.
Girl.
What I see,
I'm just like,
whenever you're ready.
When I see you with the hooked up to the car, I was like, girl, you're doing too much. Stop now.
Well, the hardest part, and I can't wait till I turn 40, which is something you probably never hear a woman say, right? Because then I won't be competing with the 20-year-olds. I'll be competing with other 40-year-olds, so I'm happy. But right now, I compete with the youngins.
And how was that?
That's hard. For some implements where they'll have like last woman standing, it's literally until the last woman stops pulling. And they don't stop. So I'm like, stop. But, it challenges you. It challenges you to dig deeper. One thing my mother always said, mind over matter. And I learned that more importantly in this sport because your body's going to give out way before your mind does. And if you can push through it, breathe, brace, and push through it, that's a recipe for success in every aspect of life. And that's the thing about this sport is that I can challenge my body mentally. Whatever I tell it to do, it's going to do.
Your first competition?
Loads of fun. It was a very warm and welcoming environment. It was 2 weeks after my mother had transitioned and never competed before, so I didn't know what I would be walking into. But it was a deadlift only competition and it was a fundraiser. And what I learned from that experience is everybody wants you to win. And that's my mantra for life now. Everybody wants me to win. Lifting is not about your lifts versus your competitors' lifts. It's let's all just do well. And that is something I've experienced competition after competition, is that everyone has been nurturing. They don't care your race, your creed, your sexual orientation, your preference, whatever it is. Can you lift? Do you want to commit to the lift? We got you.
Nice.
And that has been my experience for the entire lifting career I've had, that everybody wants me to win.
Wow. I mean, because you're dispelling so many myths that I have about this whole thing. I'm like, okay, competition, I'm thinking, people are being catty, like, but you're painting like this whole beautiful kumbaya.
Well, no, wait a minute now. Let's remember now, there can only be one winner.
Right.
But this sport, and I was never athletic, as a child, so I don't know. But lifting, powerlifting, strong women, this has been the only community I see that people are surrounding you with strength and with encouragement. If you see on my videos from competitions, everyone's yelling, get it, you got this. Right. These are my competitors. I'm competing against them.
Wow.
And that's the thing. The cattiness is not allowed. There's a code of conduct, spoken and unspoken.
Nice.
But the main thing is everybody wants you to succeed. Everybody wants you to walk away happy, satisfied, and fulfilled, while still competing against you.
Right.
But it's a community. Everyone wants you to win.
The camaraderie sounds so amazing. I want you to win.
And I'm going to get you there. I mean, we borrow each other's belts.
Right.
We borrow each other's sleeves for our knees if necessary. At my last competition, we gave each other chalk and, the tacky for our hands and things like that. Because at the end of the day, do you want to compete with somebody who's not at their 100%? No. You want it to be a fair sport. So the only way to get you there is to have to support your mind, body, and spirit.
That's not, imagine if we all lived on this earth and we had that same mindset.
Can you imagine if we all had a network of people who are committed to helping us win? Just think about it. I haven't been in this neighborhood in a long time, but I remember when it wasn't like this. When people just would see people in bad situations and walk right past them.
Yeah.
In the lifting community, if somebody gets hurt, we all get hurt. We feel it. If somebody needs food, water, we all get that. And if we could just bring that from the gym into the community at large, can you imagine?
Yeah, because it sounds like, all the preconceived notions that I had about this, the whole, the lifting community is just like, I'm thinking about sweat and,
it's all that going on.
Yeah, but it's just that, I'm just looking at it from the outside, and I'm looking at it like, this is,
No, we go beast mode, but at the core of it, I don't think you will ever experience the amount of support until you've lifted. That support, you become family, even from a competition meet director, the person running the competition, all the way down to other competitors' parents. I've had other competitors' parents come up to me and hug me and say, "Do you need anything?"
That's so
things
nice.
Like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a wonderful community, and I wish everyone had the opportunity to experience it without the fear and the myths.
Yeah.
We don't throw things at each other. We don't growl.
You know what it is? To me, because mentally, I'm 50, so I'm growing up thank you. I'm like, it's always been male dominated, so when I saw you go into that arena, I just was like, oh my God, are they trying to sabotage her when she goes to compete? Or, are they discriminating because she's a woman? These are all, because my mind automatically went into protective system mode, oh my God, is she okay? And it's just like, when I see all the cheering, and you're telling me all the cheering was coming from other competitors, that like, whoa, that's huge.
I think the sport has changed dramatically from the time that you probably are aware of to it is now. Number one, it's not as male dominated as it used to be.
Right.
And it's not as white male dominated. I just recently became a brand ambassador for Sisters of Powerlifting.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. It's a network of women of color lifting. There's a whole network around the country, around the world.
Wow, really?
And when you walk into the competitions now, you are seeing more and more women taking the lead. Some of the great ones in every sport now. So we're there, and we're treated kindly. The code of conduct has protected us. There'll be little nuances here and there, but meet directors tend to nip it in the bud immediately.
Wow. So I feel like I'm like dumbfounded and speechless, because I'm thinking like, but I know you wouldn't stay in that kind of environment if it was not benefiting you emotionally and mentally. So
actually, I would if I was experiencing what you thought might have happened, I would have stayed. Because
really,
yes, because I'm thinking about what if my daughter wants to go into lifting.
That's true.
Somebody broke down the doors for me. Yeah. I gotta break down the doors for her and all the women coming up.
Yeah, that's true. See that whole mindset of community. I mean, because that, like I said, I see your videos and I see you hooked up to a truck, a car, and I see you pushing those big wheels that look like, on 18-wheelers, those big old wheels that's probably taller than me, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, girl. But I'm glad to hear that you are taking care of your body even when you're off, like the chiropractor, acupuncturist.
Oh, it's a must. I'm the old head in this sport.
Yeah.
Like I said, I entered the sport late. So I entered when I was 36, 37. That's late. Most lifters begin in high school. And my goals, my strength goals are so extreme that I have to take care of my body, because I need to be in this for another 5 years, healthy.
Yeah.
So taking care of my body is important. Another myth people have is that powerlifters are like, overweight, unhealthy, poor condition, and that kind of thing. But we actually take care of our bodies a lot. A lot of cardio, a lot of diet. We have to watch what we eat, when we eat it, how we eat it, things like that. So you have to take care of your body.
Yeah, because I do like meal prep for a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. And it's very strict.
Yes.
Like
put the food in this amount, this measurement.
It's so strict that I use a scale
to measure to weigh the food. Yes.
Yeah. And
ours are not as strict. It's more about not so much as portion control, but which macros are going to impact our lifts. So, for example, because we're lifting heavier weights often, we have to be careful not to eat inflammatory foods. So dairy, a lot of nightshade vegetables, kind of looking at it from that perspective, because we will feel the impact of it the next day.
Right.
So things like that, a lot of turmeric, a lot of garlic, we have to eat that to help, alleviate some of the inflammation from lifting, things like that. So it's more of looking at the nutrients and seeing how it's going to impact our lifts.
Have you ever hurt yourself?
Oh, I don't know if I want to say it. Let's see. Yes. Before I learned proper technique and cues for the deadlift, I did injure my back. Okay. Let's see. Long-term injuries, no. Most of my injuries is because I didn't execute the lift properly, tweaked something, and then take a rest week and then back at it.
Okay.
So things like that. But the thing about it, lifters, when you learn how to do it properly, you very rarely hurt yourself.
So how far in advance do you know about competitions?
Well, you can sign up for a comp anywhere from a week to a month. Me personally, what I did in 2018, I won't be repeating in 2019. I competed every 8 weeks. which is not healthy because I was learning both sports. I wanted to compete in both sports. So I would do a strong woman, then do a powerlifting, then do a strong woman. So I kind of went back and forth over the 6 to 8 weeks. Now I'm pacing it out a little more. I'm going to probably do 3 or 4 a year as opposed to the 7 that I did last year.
How long do you need to train for a competition? How long do you train for a competition?
So it depends. So with powerlifting, we always try to reach a personal record, a PR.
Mm-hmm.
So for a PR, for a normal PR cycle, anywhere from 10 to 16 weeks is the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. I skirted a little and do 8 weeks.
Okay.
Strong woman, you need a dedicated 6 to 8 weeks
mm-hmm.
to build up the strength to compete.
And those 6 to 8 weeks consist of what?
Wow. Which sport?
Pick one.
Okay, so for powerlifting, the 3 main lifts, I will be doing the 3 main lifts 3 to 4 days a week. So there's, high volume squats, high volume bench, high volume deadlifts. And then the other 2 days will be cardio. It'll either be regular, slow cardio, walking for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. Or high impact, like spinning or the Stairmaster for like 30, 35 minutes.
Spinning meaning what? Like that bike?
That bike.
Oh, God. I hate that bike. Let me tell you something. Two machines I hate. The bike and the elliptical. Oh, my God.
The elliptical is great.
I hate that thing. Because I feel like I feel like a loser, like I'm losing. Because I want to give up so early on in the game, and I just feel like...
Breathe, brace, push through it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because I want to get back in the gym. I used to...
I'm in lift.
I want to, get back in the gym and to be healthy. I'm not trying to lose any weight or anything. I just want to be healthy.
But the thing about lifting that people don't realize is all the things it does for your metabolism. It strengthens your bones. Mm-hmm. It strengthens your lungs. It also builds up your metabolism because what your body's doing in 20 minutes of lifting is unmatched in any other sport or cardio. So I love for women to say I'm going back to the gym, but I would love for them to walk over to the free weight section and pick up a weight. In 20 minutes, the amount of calories you can burn and continue burning after you lift, better than the Stairmaster.
Really?
Better than the treadmill. Better than the elliptical. Better than aerobics. And then you'll watch your body change. Regardless of what the scale says, your body will start to transform and you will love it. I can guarantee that.
Okay, I'm gonna think about it. You know what? I don't mind going to the gym. That part. It's just that like certain machines, like I could do the treadmill. Yeah.
You do it like that?
No, because what I do when I go on the treadmill, I run some to as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And I try not to look at that freaking clock, and I just run, and I just have my music, and I'm like, girl, come on now, and pep talk, yes, come on, girl, you can do it. And then when I do it until I can't, and then I go back to, then I go back, and I go back and forth, and eventually I'm able to build up enough where I'm able to keep going, and I actually get what you're saying, but mind over matter. As soon as I can get my mind. But get my mind.
You do it with cooking. I mean, it's the same thing with lifting. You're taking raw ingredients and turning it into something that there's no guarantee, right?
Right.
You're using your mind to transform a raw ingredient into something phenomenal, right? Same thing with lifting. The raw ingredient is you. All you gotta do is pick up that barbell. She's like, let me think about that.
What gym do you go to?
So I go to Global Strongman Gym for strong women, and I go to Vigorous Fitness out in Queens for powerlifting.
Strongman Gym. What does that look like?
You have to come in there. It's a mecca of strength.
Really?
It's a mecca. It's a space that you would never have imagined exists in like our little Brooklyn.
Really?
Like, where did I just walk into?
This is crazy that even as an adult we have these misconceptions that we keep carrying on with us the rest of our life. But I'm glad that today we're able to dispel quite a few of them, because I'm like, when you like go to the gym, I'm like, okay, so is it a whole bunch of guys that like I just I know it, but I'm just like when you say a powerlifting gym, all I can think about is a bunch of weights, a bunch of guys, but see, I didn't know. Me and I used to speak to the bodybuilder, because I prepare his meals. He talks to me about a lot of his regimen and what he has to do, and I'd be like in awe, because I didn't know that cardio was such a big part of of his regimen.
It's a huge part of any lifter's regimen, because cardio helps your body to use oxygen more effectively. And in lifting, we execute the lift first by the breath. Most people don't realize it, that the lift begins and ends with the breath.
That's true.
And once you understand that, and that's the thing about me, that I found that lifting is my metaphor for life, right? Everything in life, if I take a deep breath, I can do it. I just got to take that deep breath. And the same with the lift. You take that deep breath and you brace properly, you can do it. No matter what the weight is on there, just go ahead, go for it. So cardio is a huge part of it. Diet is even more. Especially for us powerlifters, people think we just eat what we want. We can't. We can't eat what we want. We will feel it in the gym the next day.
See,
and rest. Rest. We have to advocate for our rest, because that's how our body recovers. So it's so important to get proper rest. And rest will include sleep, but also doing absolutely nothing.
What is your diet like?
So mine is a highly controversial way of eating. I'm a keto carnivore. I predominantly ketogenic diet, almost 0 to no carbs. On resting days, carnivore, no carbs, and a lot of fasting. So I do very high protein, very high fat. I know, that's why I said it's very controversial.
Wow, that would be, let me tell you something, because I'm a rice.
Yes.
I've been able to not eat bread a lot. I don't even buy bread, loaves of bread, because it goes to waste, because I eat it and then the rest of it goes bad. So I don't buy bread. It's the rice and the pasta
that sticks you.
I can't. I did it for, I want to say 10 days of no pasta and no bread, and I did like when I did really get that craving for rice and stuff, I shredded some cauliflower. And to make cauliflower. And that helped me, and that staved off that craving.
That craving, yeah.
But
it's a challenge. I mean,
it is, because it's like the pasta part. It's like, okay, so what do you, and I understand you could get zucchini and make.
I don't even bother. Well, for me, I started that way of eating before I was lifting, because I was pre-diabetic with my son. And I was adamant about not going on any type of medication.
Right.
So once I learned that way of eating and saw how it healed me, I said I can continue. The challenge has been with lifting, because you theoretically need some carbs to lift. But here's where the controversy comes in. I eat more protein. And there's this whole sciencey word, glucogenesis and all of that, where your body thinks that excess protein is glucose. And it turns it into glucose, so then that helps me power through. It's sciencey. I don't know if it's true. It's been working for me. But if you can push through 30 days, the cravings go away. And if they don't, I eat. If I want rice, I'll eat it. If my body says it wants rice, I'll eat it. The breads, I'm like you. I don't really like the bread.
I mean, bread. listen, I could do bread, right? But it's not like I'm about to go buy a whole loaf of bread because I'm not.
No.
And I've mentally, you know, kind of staved myself off from bread. Like, you know, like, okay, girl, you don't need it to survive. You know,
you just want it.
Yeah, you don't need. It's not a necessity.
But so, it's controversial. But like I said, don't deny your body what it wants. Just do it in moderation.
Right.
For me, what works more effectively is that way of eating.
Right. See, I like a lot of. I like a lot of sweets.
You're not gonna lie.
No, and I do, and I try to control it. Like, you know, like I like to eat cake and cookies, but I try to do it in moderation. I don't like to, like, when I make it and like people order stuff, I make sure I don't have too much excess.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be sitting around and I'm eating it. So I try to, but I love cookies and chocolate and cookies and cake. I love it.
So I'm not gonna preach to you, but the thing about it, I found that when you start eliminating the carbs, your palate changes and you can't tolerate the sweets, even if you wanted to. So first is mind over matter, right? And then it's actually changing, you know, your palate, changing what your palate can tolerate. And I found that sweets, I'll have cravings, I'll give in to them, and then I'm like,
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, I get it. It's just to train your mind.
On competition days, I eat as much carbs that I want.
So you're allowed to eat because you're gonna burn it off.
I'm gonna burn it off. I need it to power through for the whole day.
Oh.
So that might help you come to the gym.
Right. LaToneya, let's do
this.
Come on, let's do this. Yeah. I need some rice, man. Let's get this going. Let's get this cracking. Like, that works.
Just a thought. Hint, hint.
Yeah, I mean, like, because sometimes I eat it and I feel so guilty about eating it. Like,
so that's the thing. I actually hope I can be a medium for women. Specifically, I want to do away with us thinking about guilt associated with our food.
Yeah.
You know, food is neither good nor bad. Let's move away from assigning labels to it.
Okay.
It's just what does this meal do for what I have planned for the rest of the day or for tomorrow? That's how I look at food. So if I had a cookie or 4,
right.
Okay, great. Tomorrow, let me go deadlift. You know, things like that.
Okay.
Not, I ate 4 cookies, I feel bad. Let me go get on the treadmill for 2 hours. No. Because what happens is you start that cycle of disordered eating. And I want us to do away with it. I like to look at food for performance. How is it going to help me perform better? Or am I willing to take the hit on my performance based on what I eat? So I like ice cream. Can't have dairy if I have to lift the next day.
Right,
inflammation. Or you don't really want to be squatting if you had ice cream the night before.
Right. And you be lifting up, you be like, oh,
wait, situation.
I gotta go. Ladies room.
And I like to wear cute tights and shorts.
Right. You know, right. You want to still keep it cute.
You want to still keep it cute.
Right.
So it's things like that. I really hope that women can start thinking about food, not so much as good or bad, or I feel guilty, or I shouldn't have done that. It's what is this meal going to do for me the next day? And what do I have planned for the next day based off of what I ate? So.
Well, I hope I'm not taking you off of your diet or.
Oh, listen. This is a free day.
Because I'm hoping that I can get into some sort. No, but I did plan on going to the gym though. I did plan on going back to the gym, and I had cancel my membership because I wasn't after a while because I wasn't.
You were paying, but you didn't go.
At first I was going, but the last 2 months I found myself I paid and I didn't go, and I was like, I'm going to cancel next month. and I actually did. So that kind of like, you know, but now I think that I need to get my
So one thing that
my metabolism, tone, I guess. You know.
So, oh gosh, you said that word, tone. So here's the thing about it, toning. The only way to tone the way most people think is to actually strength train. You're going to have to pick up the weight to tone. So what I tell everyone is, you know, don't set New Year's resolutions, don't set goals. Just write out your manifestation. What is it that you want to do? What do you want to look like in 6 months? How do you want to feel in 6 months? It could be something as simple as I want to be able to climb 10 stairs, you know, without being out of breath. Yeah. Or I want to carry all the groceries from the car in one trip.
Right. In one shot.
In one shot. So things like that. And you know what? When you work towards those kind of manifestations, it's much more easier than saying, oh, I want to get in tone, or I want to drop 2 dress sizes, or I want to lose 10 pounds. Because those are fluid. Have something a little more tangible, and you'll commit to it longer. This is smelling good.
Thank you. Now, I know that, well, I think I walked up the train station steps like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, why am I breathing like this? Like,
if it was Broadway Junction, you get passed. That's a stairway to heaven.
No, yeah. You feel like you climbing out the
I can't even do that one.
Yeah, yeah. Broadway Junction is pretty. There's quite a few train station stops at Broadway Lafayette.
Yes.
A lot of, it's like you feel like,
what? I gotta get my life together.
Yes. I'm telling you, walking up those steps, you say you come to so many conclusions about your life. You made some life decisions coming up those steps. Yes. And you're like, I need to get back to the gym. I need to figure out this. I need to get healthy. You start making like, I need to stop drinking coffee.
No, you're going way too far now. The amount of coffee I drink, I can't give that up. But whenever you're ready, you're always welcome to come to the gym.
Oh, thank you. I would like that. I would just to see how it is.
I think you'll love it. It's infectious. You'll see yourself doing it. There are lifters from a variety of ages, from age 5 all the way up to 85. Just smashing records, going on the platform for the first time or for the 20th time. I think you'll enjoy it.
What advice would you give any women that are looking to get into this field? Any women, any girls? Do they have women? This question, do they have this in high school?
Absolutely.
They do?
Absolutely, on a championship level. Absolutely. Yes.
Did not know that. Okay.
New York, it feels like New York is like separate from the rest of the country because there are lifters who are in high school lifting from when they're 12 or 13 years old, going to specific high schools because they're champions in powerlifting and in weightlifting as well. New York, I don't know so much. I'm looking for one for my daughter because I would love to get her into it. She, of course, is like, again, ill. But my advice to any future lifters, be fearless. Don't be afraid. Walk in that gym. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, walk in there, own it, and learn. Because that is where you'll find your power. I'm talking to you too.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. That gleam in your eye was like, you too.
You too. Because I already see like a nice little singlet I can put you in with the head tie and the makeup.
I don't know how committed I would be, but, you know, because I'm like, it's the gym. I don't know. I mean, and it's like it's not like I'm a stranger to the gym. I mean, I used to work in the gym. I used to work in Lucille Rock. That, you know, that was a lady gym, but you know, it was still a gym.
Oh, that gym was adorable.
Yeah, you know, it was like a lady gym, but you know, it was cute. I used to do like orientation with people that was coming in.
So see, it's already in you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just have to,
you know what?
get motivated.
It'd be the first day that you lift 200 pounds and you say, you know what? I'm in this.
Me lift 200 pounds?
Yes, you.
I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yes, you. I guarantee. What is this, January? I say by June you'd be able to do it.
You think so?
I know so. What about your viewers? You should put a poll on this.
Saying what?
How many viewers wants the wonderful chef to become the chef lifter? Cast your vote tonight.
This is what I'm gonna start lifting. This is what I'm gonna No, but I know the by being in the gym and in the gym environment, I know the importance of weights and weightlifting and all of that. I know the power in it.
Yes.
You know, not just the physical power, but I know the power that it can bring out, the inner power, the inner strength. And I remember going to the gym, you know, years ago, and it was just like really like I'm actually being there almost every day in the gym. You know, I even taught like a class, a step class, because one of the teachers was out. They were like, "What? You see?" And I was like, "All right." So I got into it, and I even bought like music. Like I said, I might start getting into it, but I didn't pursue it because it wasn't.
It's never too late.
Yeah, but
I'll say that it'll contribute greatly to your passion as well. Because from cooking from the perspective, having food look good, feel good, taste good.
Yeah.
You'll then transition to how do these nutrients make this person a better athlete?
That's true.
So it's hand in hand. And if you have that inner circle knowledge as a lifter yourself, it's gonna just take you to that whole nother level as a chef.
So when you met your husband, he was already in the gym? He was already a
he was, oh my God.
Gym junkie?
Yes. And it's funny because we used to argue. Well, he's in the gym for 3 hours. Da, 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 da. Now, I'm the one in the gym for 3 hours. But his direction, and I'm glad he switched from bodybuilding, because bodybuilding, you know, it's very regimented. It's very, it was very stressful. You know, I would want to go out, but he can't go there because he can't eat that, he can't eat this.
Yeah, yeah.
But now with powerlifting, not only has he been able to grow stronger and healthier, but also we get to compete together. And that's one of the actual fun things about my lifting career is that we do it together as a couple. So it's like a family thing.
And the kids go?
The kids go. We pack them up, load them up in the car. They're screaming, yelling, yay! So
nice.
It's part of our lifestyle now.
Well, yeah, I heard it here. She's trying to get me to be a lifter.
Chef Lifter. You heard it first. We get t-shirts and everything.
Yeah, that would be the day. Like, yeah, okay, yeah.
June 2019. Let's do this.
LaToneya is trying to get me in the gym. Even though I need to be in the gym, I mean, I do want to, you know, feel better.
Yes.
I mean, for someone my age, I don't have any meds.
And
I don't have any health issues. And I try to eat as best as I can. Mm-hmm. And I think that you know, I do things from like a holistic perspective. I don't want to be on meds.
Absolutely.
You know? I don't have any ailments, thank God. I don't have any ailments. I'm pretty healthy, and I really want to stay. I want to stay this way. Wow, this has been an amazing interview. I love all my guests that come on here because their stories are all so amazing. And it's moving and inspiring, and not just to me, but I wanted to inspire other people. But the one thing that I love about what you do is that the camaraderie, the community that, you know, and the support that you get is amazing. I never would have thought that in the weightlifting community. I never would have even imagined. But I'm so glad that you get that. And we need to take this to the streets, y'all. Take that community type of mindset to the streets. But I am going to get back in the gym. And you're going to see us with a gym selfie. You're going to see me. I might be conscious. I might not.
Chef Lifter, let's make this happen.
I might be conscious. I might be unconscious. I might be half in and out, fading in and out, but you never know. But anyway, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This was an amazing interview. I love it. This is Talking with Your Mouth Full with Brooklyn Chef Danielle. Thank you for tuning in.